Saludos mi gente, bienvenidos a un episodio más de MR.Fundamentals podcast. Este es Cristian Castro con ustedes. Otro episodio nuevo de The Talk, hablando con jugadores de nuestro patio. Esta serie pues comenzó con lo que fue, ¿verdad? Una iniciativa que tuve para comenzar una serie de conversaciones con jugadores y jugadoras de Puerto Rico y que vienen a jugar a Puerto Rico, etcétera, etcétera, para tener una visión más amplia de lo que ellos enfrentan día a día, cuáles son sus retos, sus pasiones, sus comienzos. Y en esta serie, pues obviamente no se me podía quedar esta chica que está aquí conmigo hoy, Jessica Torres. Eh, yo creo que era una persona bien especial para este podcast, porque con su juventud y con lo que aún le falta por recorrer, ya pudo alcanzar distintas competiciones, representarnos a nivel internacional también con las selecciones de Puerto Rico, etcétera, etcétera. También tuvo oportunidades, ¿verdad?, de becas en Estados Unidos y muchas otras cositas más que vamos a estar hablando por ahí. Pero antes de comenzar con esta entrevista, recuerden suscribirse a este canal de YouTube, dejar sus comentarios por ahí y activar la campanita para que no se pierdan ninguno de estos episodios que siempre están bien interesantes en la realidad. Pero nada, sin más preámbulos, comencemos con la entrevista. Jessica Torres. Jessica, gracias por estar aquí conmigo. Thanks for accepting the invitation. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, and just to open it up, it's an honor always to represent mi isla, Puerto Rico. I was born in Virginia, but I moved to Puerto Rico about 2 years ago, and it's been the best experience ever. I've been learning about Puerto Rico more than I've been here, and I've learned to love it a lot more because I've been able to experience what it means to represent my island and represent all the people that live here and to work very hard for them. So it was a great honor.
Ok, Jessica, ¿cómo comienza tu pasión por el fútbol? ¿Cómo comienza a encaminarte en lo que es este deporte de las mil emociones? How did the story begin?
Yeah. So I started football a long time ago, 6 years old, I believe. 6, yes. Y mi mamá started me in recreational soccer. And from the beginning, from the start, it was a love and a passion that I can't describe even today. It just makes me happy and fueled. So growing up in the States and doing that, it was hard sometimes because there's different things that go into that, like race and your last name. It's hard sometimes, especially for me when all the other girls on my team are white. But facing that adversity really made me stronger and better. And there were some times that I really wanted to quit because I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Why can't I be accepted here? I'm just trying to play. But it was a good experience because it makes me able to value what I have here now more because I know what it feels like to be supported. So I went through travel from 8 till 16. I moved here. And then I started with Puerto Rico Sol, received a full ride at Creighton University for this coming fall. I'll be going there to play for their women's soccer team. And in January, I received a call for the U20 women's national team for Puerto Rico. And that was a big moment for me because I did not think at such a young age I could play at that level, the national stage, going against very great competitors. And then I received a call to go and play just as a training player for the senior full team. And the purpose for me to go there for that week or 2 weeks was just to train and get ready for Dominican Republic. But I was training, and when the training time closed, and it was, I believe, 2 days before the first game against Antigua and Barbuda, 48 hours before, Nat Gonzalez and Carlos Suarez call me into this room, and they were making cuts and telling people if they were making the roster or not. And I was going in there thinking, I'm not making the roster. I'm 17. Everyone else here is 20 and above. But to my surprise, they say, we want you on the roster for that game. And I was over the moon, because to have that experience and that opportunity given to me at 17 is amazing. And I had no words to describe it. I started crying at the table, happy tears. And then the next step was actually being able to play in the game, because I was allowed to suit up, which is just an honor on its own. But every player, when you're sitting on the bench, you're like, I want to go in. I want to do something. I want to go in. But then my time came to go in, and it was about the last, I believe, 15 minutes of the game. And I entered the game, and it was an incredible experience to play with along people like Laura Suarez, Karina Socaras, Tuti Terrado. Those people make it an experience that you'll never forget. Seriously.
Was great your official debut with the Puerto Rican national team, and that thing. What thing of their game you learn more from the other ladies?
So I learned the technicality that they had on the ball and the composure. Because for me, when I went in, and during that time I was there training, there was energy filled by nervousness. And so I had to learn from those players, because they're much more senior than me, and they have more experience with different people in different clubs. I had to learn how to hone it and calm down just a little bit, and be able to play and think at the same time, not just be running on adrenaline or just energy. You be playing with, you think and then you play, not the other way around.
Yeah, you were an important part of the under 20 qualifying tournament. Tell me about that.
Well, it was my first time going overseas ever. So that was something spectacular. And being away from home, I think it was about 3 weeks and like 5 days, was a lot. It was hard. But that tournament, we faced a lot of adversity, because we came in and we knew each other for about 48 hours before we played República Dominicana. And that was hard, because trying to know each other and be able to replicate that knowing and feeling on the field that fast is hard. It's very hard. But I am very proud of all the girls and of myself and the staff that was there, because we did a good job considering the circumstances. I think we didn't have that much to prepare, but the girls went in with a focused mindset. I was there to focus, and we had one dream and one goal, and we got as far as we could, and we tried our very best. Now I wish we would have qualified for the World Cup. Everyone would have wished that, but to make it that far, and we are such a small island compared to Canada and the US, to make it that far in the tournament is amazing. And I'm very, very proud of everyone that was there, and myself, because that's a big accomplishment.
Well, para explicar un poco lo que ella dijo, para los que no conocen mucho, pues le pregunté sobre, pues ella fue una pieza importante en el torneo de sub-20 con la selección de Puerto Rico. Pues ella nos explica pues que ha sido un sacrificio bastante fuerte para la jugadora, para ella, y pues básicamente pues que no pudieron clasificar, que era la misión principal de este torneo, pero que se siente muy orgullosa de ella y de sus compañeros, al igual que nosotros, que también estamos muy orgullosos del trabajo que han hecho estas chicas durante todos estos últimos meses, sacrificios semana tras semana, preparándose a última hora para ir a clasificar para ir a jugarse la clasificación a estos dos torneos, porque se jugaban simultáneamente muchas veces. Jessica, tell me about Nebraska.
Okay. I think it's about 89 days till I leave. And I'm very excited to see what Nebraska has in store for me. One thing I am not excited about is the cold, and I will be losing my tan when I go there. So I'm not extremely happy about that. But the competition that I'll be there, because we'll be playing in the Big East, is a good competition. It's great for me to develop as a player, both physically and mentally. And I'm very excited to see the coaches there, because it's a loving family. From the start, I knew when I went for my official visit that it was a home I would love to have for 4 years, because the girls and the coaches and the rest of the staff, they take you in under their wing right away, and they protect you and guide you into a player that I want to be, and strive for bigger and better things after my time in Creighton University, Nebraska.
Yes, great. Returning to the Puerto Rican national team, regresando al tema de la selección nacional de Puerto Rico. Estás clara, estás consciente de que has sido parte de una historia nunca antes escrita con las chicas. Do you understand that you wrote a part of the story on women's soccer, Puerto Rican national team?
Sí, yeah. Well, la historia por la Puerto Rico is para women's football is, for me, that we wrote will be there forever. And for the little girls that are coming up for behind us, I hope that they notice that, and I'm sure they do. And I hope it makes it easier for them if they have the opportunity to represent Puerto Rico in the future when they come of the age. It should be a little easier, because we're trailblazers, and we made a history, a mark on the world that will be there forever. No one can take that away from us right now, ever, because we put in the work, we put in the sacrifice, being away from our families for that long, wearing that badge of honor for that long, and writing that history. There's a lot going into that. Even the ladies before me that were on the national team, the U20 team, they were part of writing that history, because if they weren't there, we wouldn't have done what we did 4 months ago, because it's a process, especially in women's soccer. Unfortunately, it's a slow process sometimes, but the women before us put those steps for us to be able to climb them, and we had the group that we had made it possible, and we took that next step that we had been waiting for someone to take, and we took it. Now, hopefully the group, if I'm still part of that group, when we go to the Central American Games, hopefully we can take another step and maybe win that tournament, and then continue and progress, because I think Puerto Rico can be a big powerhouse in soccer. We just need a little bit more time. But you could see that in the U20s, especially the girls coming up, they're a force to be reckoned with, and we're going to do great things in the future. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I believe that. Okay. ¿Qué tú crees que le hace falta en tu experiencia, bajo tu experiencia? Sabemos que eres una jugadora joven, pero en tu experiencia, de lo que has visto, ¿qué crees que le hace falta al fútbol en Puerto Rico para seguir creciendo?
Well, I think in order to make us progress, I think we need to focus on the kids that are young, around 6 years old, and make a strong foundation across the island wide, and put academies and different things, funding, especially to improve fields and improve development academies, because the interest starts when you're around 6, 5, 7 years old. And we need those kids, those girls, and those guys to be getting in at that young age and starting their development, because that's how you grow a powerhouse. You start with the young ones, and then you progress. Now with the senior team and the U20s, and I believe the U17s, to make those groups more impactful in tournament play, friendlies, international play, I think we need more time to prepare. I'm not sure how the federation specifically works with that, but I think we need some more time with camps, getting to know that specific team that you're selected on, to train with that group for at least 3 to 4 weeks before you go into a big tournament like CONCACAF just had for us, because then you're going in with your best foot forward and your best talent to be able to produce something grand. Even though we didn't have that time, we still produced something grand. But if we had more time, I think we could have probably qualified for the World Cup if we just had that little bit of extra time, because you could see it on the field sometimes that, like in the Canada game, that Canadian team, I'm sure, had a camp before they went in, and you could tell that they knew each other's weaknesses and their strengths more than our team did, because we didn't have the time to know that. We didn't have the bandwidth to take it all in, because we're also eating foreign food, sleeping in a different bed, staying away from our families, just in a whole different environment, drinking different water. So all those factors are negative factors that take away from playing. But if we have more time to prepare, we can block those factors out more and focus on the playing more and be able to produce more results.
Ok, ella piensa que básicamente pues sería muy favorable para ella que pues que tenga un poco más de tiempo para prepararse, en la preparación para estas competiciones tan grandes. También habló sobre que pues que lo que hemos hablado muchas veces, que el deporte empieza pues un poco tarde en los niños, que favorablemente pues sería entre los 6 y 5 años, que básicamente es la edad promedio para tú comenzar a jugar de una forma exitosa. Y pues que básicamente pues el sacrificio que ellas hacen de estar acá en Puerto Rico, acostumbrarse a muchas cosas y de momento ir a viajar a pocos días de competición para entonces pues tratar de acostumbrarse lo antes posible a la comida, al agua, a diferentes tipos de cosas, quizás le afecte un poquito más a concentrarse en lo que es el juego. Jessica, a alguien a quien tú admires mucho, alguien que sea para ti un ejemplo, someone you admire.
Someone I admire, specifically in the soccer world.
Yeah, or family member or whatever you want to.
Let me see. I'll give an example for both. So for family member, I would say my mom and my dad. Those two they made my dreams come true, because the sacrifice that they've made for me over the years, 17 years I've been alive, it's insane, because I live in Humacao. I train in Mayagüez, and that's about a 3-hour drive, depending, 2.5, 3. Yeah. And I go there every week for 3 to 4 days out of the week. They pay for an apartment over in Mayagüez. My stepmom takes me, and she has tremendous sacrifice she's given me, and I'm forever grateful for them, and I admire them, because that dedication they give to me, and I have 4 other siblings, but the dedication they give to me specifically is something I can never repay. It's incredible, and I'm forever grateful, and I admire those 3 people: my stepmom, my mom, and my dad, for that incredible opportunity they've given me, because I've reached these amazing heights because of them. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. In the soccer world, let me see. Well, I admire a lot of the girls on the Puerto Rico national team, the senior team. A few of them, I already listed them. Tuti, I admire a lot, because to me, she's a phenomenon. I think she has done amazing things. She told me her story when I first met her. And Tuti has this amazing charisma about her that you always want to be around her. She's always uplifting everyone. And on top of that, she's a beast on the field. And I would love to emulate her, because she's done incredible things for this sport. It's amazing. Someone outside of Puerto Rico, though, I always admired Megan Rapinoe and Tobin Heath, because those 2 women are just insane on the field. Their technique, their commitment, their physical and mental attributes are insane, and I would love to be able to emulate that when I get to that age and be able to have that at that age, because that is something anyone could dream of, and they're playing at the highest levels in women's soccer. And I hope and I dream that when I'm 22, 24, 30, I'm playing in Europe or in the highest levels in the States, representing Puerto Rico still. I'm always going to represent them because this is my home. But playing in clubs that are at the highest level possible to be able to further your development, like Megan Rapinoe and Tobin Heath, that's the dream for sure.
Cool. Para ella, básicamente, pues, las personas que más mira, pues, son sus padres. El sacrificio, ella habla sobre el sacrificio que hace, que ella entrena en Mayagüez, vive en Humacao, y pues ha sido bastante fuerte para ellos, pero que han hecho por ella muchas cosas las cuales ella nunca podría pagar. En cuestión del fútbol en Puerto Rico, pues admira mucho a las chicas de la selección, incluyendo a Adriana Tuti Tirado, pues que habló con ella desde el primer día que se conocieron. Pues Adriana pues le contó su historia, e hicieron un clip bastante bueno y pues sienten una buena química, y para ella es un ejemplo a seguir. Y tomando en cuenta que también Tuti ha logrado muchas cosas fuera de Puerto Rico, ha logrado muchas cosas para su carrera y ha sido increíble para ella.
But I'd like to thank everyone in Puerto Rico who's watching this for welcoming me and with open arms and allowing me to represent you guys. It makes me cry. I am so forever grateful to be able to wear that jersey, because it means the world to me to be able to represent everyone on this island and what this island stands for. And I'd like to thank my parents, you, for allowing me to be here. This is an amazing opportunity just to outbranch and speak. And I'd like to thank the Federation as well, because they allowed me to make my dream come true at such an early age, the coaches and the administration. And I'd like to thank all the coaches that have been for me, Marvin Johnson and Schick Burkowski, just to name two. They helped me along this journey when it was hard. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Nothing is nothing. Your username on Instagram, Twitter.
Oh, so my yeah, sure. It's soccer life _ simply Jess. It's long. Hopefully you guys get that. But if you want to follow me, I post a whole bunch of soccer content, what I'm currently doing, national team stuff and college stuff all the time on there. So if you want to go look at it, go ahead.
Sure. Ya saben, vayan a seguir a Jessica en Instagram, Twitter, en todas sus redes sociales. Las vamos a poner ahí abajo cuando este video suba. Y nada, Jessica, gracias a ti. Sé que haces mucho sacrificio al estar aquí conmigo esta noche. Y espero que las personas se disfruten este episodio, que conozcan más sobre Jessica, puedan seguir su carrera. Está comenzando y ya miran todas las cosas que ha logrado. Y esta plataforma es para esto, esta plataforma es para que pues podamos conocer a estos talentos que están creciendo o que aún ya despegaron, pero tomar eso como ejemplo para las futuras generaciones, los que vienen detrás de ellos. Y es grande lo que está preparando Puerto Rico para los próximos años. Tengo mucha fe en eso. Y nada, seguir a las chicas. Recuerden seguir este contenido siempre, seguirme en todas las redes sociales como MR.Fundamentals PR. Y nada, nos vemos en una próxima edición de Talk.
Gracias.
Bien.